Welcome back to Lesson 1 on surface area of cylinders and triangular prisms. Here we'll look at surface area of composite objects, including rectangular prisms, triangular prisms, and cylinders. So for example 1, says we have a cylinder with a radius of 11 inches and a height of 12 inches that sits on top of a triangular prism. The base of the triangular prism is an equilateral triangle with side length of 25 inches. We have to determine the surface area to the nearest tenth. Now since we have an equilateral triangle, all three of these sides are equal and they all measure 25 inches. Now starting with the triangular prism, we have 2 triangles and 3 rectangles. So for the 2 triangles, we have a base of 25 and a height here of 21.65. Now when we're dealing with composite objects, we need to remember about the overlap. I can't see this part of the triangular prism because the cylinder's in the way. So I'm going to now subtract off that circle. Now the area of a circle is pi r squared, so I'll subtract pi times 11 squared. Now for the rectangles, I have this one and 2 more on the side which we can't see. But all 3 of these rectangles are going to be equal since we have an equilateral triangle here and all the side lengths are the same. So now I just add on to 3 rectangles, which is 25 times 18. Now in the calculator, I got 541.25, subtract 380.1 plus 1,350. Altogether, that gives me 1,511.1 inches squared. Now I'll look at the cylinder. The surface area of a cylinder is 2 pi r squared plus 2 pi r h. But since I can't see the bottom of the cylinder, since it's sitting on top of the prism, then I'm only going to have one of the circles. So my formula is pi r squared plus 2 pi r h. So now I'll plug in my radius to be 11 and my height to be 12. So I get 380.1 plus 829.4 for a total of 1,209.5 inches squared. So now the total surface area is the sum of these 2 areas. Which is 2,720.6 inches squared. Now another option would be to find the surface area of the triangular prism and the surface area of the cylinder and add them together and then subtract off the overlap in the end. Now for example 2, we have to determine how much material is needed to construct the shed below. It consists of 4 walls, a floor, a ceiling, and a roof. So many times in the shed, they may not have a ceiling to leave it open, but here we do. Starting with the rectangular prism, we'll do the front and back first. So we have 2 times 8 times 6. Now for the sides, 2 times 10 times 6. And now for the floor and the ceiling, we would have 2 times 8 times 10. So we get 96 plus 120 plus 160 for a total of 376 feet squared. And we also have the triangular prism on top of that, rectangular prism. So for the two triangles, we'll have base of 8 and a height of 3. Now, two of the rectangles are equal, since these two side lengths are equal. So the two rectangles that make up the roof there are the same. They are both 10 times 5. Now we have another rectangle, which is this one here, the bottom of the triangular prism. But since that would overlap with the rectangular prism, I'm not going to include that. So we just have 24 plus 100, which is 124 square feet. So the total surface area here would be the sum of 376 and 124, which is 500. So just to answer the question, how much material is needed? Let's say 500 square feet of material is needed for the shed.